Hey vintage babes, welcome back to my channel. So today let's talk about failed relationships, and are you the reason that it failed just because you left? Just because you left the relationship doesn't mean you're the reason why it failed. You could be doing everything right, but if that person is doing everything under the sun to make you leave, to preserve your value and your self-worth, you have to leave. Even if you love them, even if you lost time, even if you have to leave every single thing you own behind, you are still worth more. Although it's true that no one's perfect, although it's true there will be ups and downs, and yes, you have to be willing to work through them for a successful relationship. Although it's true you have to find someone whose flaws you accept, there should always be deal breakers and boundaries set to protect you. So let's talk about them. The first deal breaker in a relationship should be dealing with a stagnant person. Now, a stagnant person is someone who does not want to grow. That person is stuck in whatever past reality and just won't move forward. Now, I'm not talking about trauma because that can take years in therapy to heal, but I am referring to someone that doesn't seem to have goals to progress your relationship. You would hear things like, I like staying in this one bedroom apartment. Who needs a house? Yeah, it's been years and it's not bringing me any income, but I'm gonna keep doing it the way I want to do it. Yeah, I know we've been together for 5 years, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for marriage. Simple things like that. We are all human, no one's perfect, but we're all supposed to be aiming for progression. If you're in a relationship and you're the only one progressing and you communicated with your partner many times that you wanted to do so, but they just refused to do so, yes, please leave, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna start doling yourself down for that person and take yourself away from your own purpose. That's not fair to you. So don't put up with it and know that you are right for making that decision to leave. The second deal breaker is cheating. Cheating is a sign of immaturity, lack of self-worth, self-control, respect, and value. To the one that's being cheated on, it can cause trauma, stress, lower self-confidence, embarrassment. We can go on and on. If a person cheats on you one time, it can be just one time. You have the right to leave. The Bible says in Matthew 5:32, but I say unto you, who shall ever put away his wife, unless it be for fornication, causes her to commit adultery. This verse is saying that if you divorce your spouse, unless it's for cheating, then you cause both of you guys to sin. So in other words, God is against divorce unless there is cheating involved. There are a couple of other things when it comes to divorce, but we're just mainly talking about cheating. But God sees that cheating is a problem. If God can see the harmful impact that cheating causes a person, then don't let that person make you feel bad for leaving them for doing so. It should have came to you with their feelings so that you guys could have came up with a solution to solve it. And if they felt like there was no way to solve it, they should have broke up with you and caused less trauma in your life. It is a sign of selfishness when they can't do that. And it shows a sign of maturity when they can come and communicate with you properly. They can be honest. They can try to find the steps to fix the relationship instead of automatically trying to find steps to leave the relationship. Also, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 7:4 that the wife does not have power over her own body, but the husband does. And also, likewise, the husband does not have power over his own body, but the wife does. Do not defraud one another. So I'm going to give you guys an example. Now, I wouldn't do this, but this is just an example. I know some couples do this, but I'm going to just use this as an example. So say you and your husband, y'all share toothbrushes. You let him use your toothbrush whenever he wants to. He lets you use his toothbrush, whatever, whenever you want to. One day you come home and you find out that he's been letting the neighbor use your toothbrush. You are going to feel disgusted. You're going to feel embarrassed, grossed out. You're going to feel like that man is insane. You're going to feel like what's wrong with him? he's not mentally there, right? And that's just a toothbrush. A toothbrush is way less valuable than your body, okay? Way less valuable. And if you can feel that way about a toothbrush, then just imagine how you would feel if your husband or your wife is using their body in that way as well, just giving it out to other people when that body belongs to you and your body belongs to them, right? So with that being said, do not let them make you feel less because you decide to leave because they do not know how to value their body. You have every right to leave. You have every right to leave. And it is not your fault that the relationship did not work out because there was a boundary that they stepped over, that they demolished. And it caused a lot of pain without really thinking about the consequences and how it would make you feel and what it would do to you, the longevity of it, just to fulfill some selfish desire. So, if you decide to leave a relationship because of that, just know it is not your fault that the relationship didn't work. It is theirs for doing what they shouldn't have done. It is theirs for doing things that prevented you guys from working it out. Okay? Know your self-worth. You do not have to stay with somebody after they cheated on you. You can leave after the first time. No matter what anybody says. Because that's hurt. That's pain. That's trauma. And it's going to take a lot of healing to get over that, especially if you really love that person. Some people understand that perspective. Some people will never cheat. I think that it's, when you get into a certain age, you just know, like, what's the point? Why would I do that? Why do I need to do that? Why am I saying that I want to be with you or be in a relationship with you if I'm going to go and share the feelings and the affection and the love and attention that I'm supposed to be sharing with you and go give it away to someone else and only give you a piece of me, only give you half of me? I'm supposed to be giving you the full me, right? But then I go around and I'm taking pieces away and giving it to all these other people, creating these soul ties and giving them power over our relationship. That's not fair. That's not fair to do that to someone. And once you know morality, humility, empathy, kindness, love, strength, courageousness, you wouldn't do that because you value yourself way better than that. And you value the person that you decided to start a relationship with. And if you feel like you cannot be in a relationship with someone and be monogamous, then you shouldn't have gotten a relationship in the first place. Deal breaker number 3, verbal and emotional abuse. This is a big one. It starts to get more serious when we talk about the abuse aspect of things. We live in a new day and age where there are so many different forms and terms for emotional and verbal abuse. We got name calling, we got degrading, we got gaslighting, we got threatening, we got manipulating, we got blame shifting. It just goes on and on, etc., etc., etc. If you're constantly experiencing this in a relationship and things are getting worse, not better, and that person is refusing to get any type of therapy, you should leave. Because all that is going to do is cause trauma and tear away from your character and what you're building for your life. I've experienced this type of abuse to the point where I started to forget who I was. I started to forget my identity. I started to lose confidence in myself. I had always thought that I was a beautiful young lady, a beautiful girl, a beautiful woman. But when I was with this person, I was constantly verbally and emotionally abused that I did not feel beautiful. I did let myself go. I did not believe that I can accomplish the things that I set my mind to. When before I met this person, everything that I wanted, I worked hard to achieve it. And I never took no for an answer. I started to lose myself, and I noticed that when I got around people, I was always trying to not make them feel uncomfortable and quiet myself down, because I didn't want to show who I was, because I felt like it would be offensive to others. It got to a point where I would be in social gatherings and I couldn't talk. I couldn't let things out. And then the times that I did kind of let a little bit of myself out, I felt embarrassed. Like who I was just insane or crazy. But I wasn't. I also realized that I was emotionally abused to the point where I felt like I was crazy for expressing how I felt, when all my feelings were valid and all the things that I had experienced or seen was actually true and happening. But that person was always making me believe that I was crazy, I was making up things, what I was thinking wasn't normal, that most people wouldn't care about it. But most people would care about it. And when you get a gut feeling about things and you just can't let it go, like, but then someone's telling you you're crazy, it makes you feel crazy. Emotional and verbal abuse can really take away from you. Please leave, because you are worth way more than that. Remember this. I wrote down a Bible verse, actually 2. So I'm gonna read it to you, but remember it because it is very significant. It can help you. It says, 1 Corinthians 13:11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then shall I know even as I known. And now abideth faith, hope, and love, even these 3, but the chiefest of these is love. So this is pretty much saying that a man and or woman should abide in faith, hope, and love, but always love first. But always love first. So what is love? I'm going to read another verse to you. So 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, love suffereth long, it is bountiful. Love envieth not, love do not boast itself, it is not puffed up, it doeth not uncomely things, it seeketh not her own things, it is not provoked to anger, it think not evil, it rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. So what that verse is pretty much saying is the characterization of love is someone who is willing to go through the hard times, someone who isn't envious of their partner or what they don't have, someone who isn't prideful or wears their pride on their chest, someone whose aim is not to always put themselves first, someone who has a hard time getting angry with you, someone who wouldn't even think about saying or doing an evil thing to you, and someone who is truly not happy when they lie to you and will respect you enough to tell you the truth. If in your day-to-day communication, this is not the person that you are getting, then baby, you need to run. And don't forget, this is not just towards you. They can be so nice to you, but if they're not treating your kids or your family with decent respect, you do not need them. That should be a deal breaker. The last deal breaker is a very serious deal breaker, but I really want to touch on this subject because I don't feel like enough people are talking about this subject. But I see it happen very often, and it's sad to me. But I hope that me talking about this subject will truly help someone. So the last deal breaker should be physical abuse. Do not stay with an abuser. If your partner hits you, do not stay. Because if you stay, that will give them the reassurance that they can do it again and again and again and again and worse and harder and more traumatizing. more dark. The only way I can see a different outcome from an abuser is if it happens once, you guys separate, they go get therapy, they change on their own, then just maybe. But that's a rare occurrence. That's a rarity. Because most abusers, they don't seek therapy or want therapy. Oh, and they should definitely have anger management together with therapy. They're not doing none of that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Man or woman, no one should be getting abused. And you think about it, they're not willing to get therapy. So in their brain, they're finding reasons to justify why they hit you. They think they were right because you were talking too much, or you said something that they didn't like, or they felt disrespected, or you should have did better with your spending habits, or you should have been home when they wanted you to be home. Whatever it is, they will find a way to justify it. Those are never reasons to put your hands on someone. Don't let your yearning for love be the reason why you are no longer here. And that can be here on this earth, or that can be here mentally, but do not do it. Trust me, I know this is harder said than done because most victims are manipulated and groomed into abuse. It doesn't just happen in one day. It happens over time of accepting small things, not knowing that the end result after a year or two is someone putting their hands on you, or someone almost throwing a hot boiling pot of water on you. As a domestic violence survivor, I want to let you know that there is better for you out there in the world. There is someone who would never even think to do those things to you. You can leave. You will pick yourself up again. You can get help. And there is a much, much better world without them. They may have been all you knew, but they are not all you will know. Proverbs 3:31 says, "Be not envious for the wicked man, neither choose any of his ways. For the forward is an abomination unto the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous." God sees a violent person as an abomination. You should see that person as an abomination as well. Walk in your truth. Do not let them dim your light. You are not weak. You are so strong. Let me tell you something. It is so easy to be mean. It's hard to be nice. Don't be like them. Taking the easy way out, not facing their emotions head on, putting their emotions onto you, raging, hurting you for what they are experiencing in the inside because they're too cowardly to figure it out, to heal, to learn, to be patient, to be kind, to have empathy. That's wicked. That's a lack of progression. What you're doing might be hard, but it's the right thing to do. Okay? So, if you are a domestic violence victim, man or woman, and you leave that relationship, it is not your fault that that relationship failed. You did not put your hands on you. That person did. Without remorse, without care for your life. If you would have stayed, who knows how far they would have went. And although you may love that person, you need to love yourself more. You need to know your worth. And you do not deserve that from anyone. And you don't have to take that. Okay? So these are the deal breakers in relationships. If you leave a relationship because of these things, just know that you are not the reason why the relationship failed. No matter what they say. Okay? So I just wanted to spread a little light on the situation. I really hope this video has helped you in some kind of way. Share this video with someone that may be experiencing some of these things. I just hope that everyone can find good, strong, healthy love. And being with partners like this is not going to give you that. With that being said, thank you so much for taking the time out to view my channel. If you guys can please like and subscribe, share, just get the word out. I really want to make an impact and help better people's lives. Okay? So thank you so much, Vintage Babes, for coming to my channel. Have an amazing day.